Get Isaiah 14. We can finish this lesson up.
This is
Brother Azariah got it. Unless whoever want to get the precept. Go ahead.
Where we start?
Isaiah 14 and 1.
14 and 1. This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
Yep, the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel. Go ahead.
And set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Set them in our own land. That was a part of our inheritance. And we also going to go back into our own land. You see? When Yahweh shall return. You see? Because the scripture says the saints shall take the kingdom. You see? And we're going to be back into our own land. You see? And the strangers that's cleaving into Israel, those are Israelites. Those are the outcasts of Israel. Go ahead.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
And what's that?
In the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
All right, so I don't want y'all to get confused on this part. Read that part again.
It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their land.
Right.
So like bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
Right. In the kingdom, are we going to have our own people in slavery? We going to have our own people in slavery? No, not our own people, no. We going to have our own people in slavery? No. So that's how we know this is talking about the heathen. Because in the kingdom, our own people ain't going to no slavery. That shit's out, man. Right. See, we going to be ruling.
We're going to be reborn. Right.
See?
And then further explain, did you already read, take them captives whose captives they were?
He just read that part.
I didn't read that part yet.
Oh, no, he ain't get to that.
It says, and they shall take them captives who captives they were.
Right.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
Go ahead, say something.
Right, so they shall take them captives who captives they were. Are we captive under our own people? No, we're captive under the other nations in Esau, Edom, man, primarily, man. Right, so we were taken captive in slavery, right? And we're still captives now. We're still in slavery, right? If you got to work for somebody else, if you got to work for the so-called white man, you're still a slave, man.
You gotta go.
Word that in Baruch, we are yet this day in our captivity where we are made subject unto payment. You got to pay a tax on everything here, man. Water, land. You don't truly own anything here. That is a form of captivity.
Yeah, hey, if you're an employee, you're a slave, man.
Yep.
When you look into that word employee.
It means slave, literally. Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right, but the scripture says a part of our curse is what? We shall go to him for the want of all things.
Right.
We got to go to this devil for everything we need. Clothes, water, food, right? Now, what this devil's doing is to the food supply chain and everything, he's killing them. He's killing the markets. So what happens? Since we got to go to our oppressor for everything, we got to wait upon him for us to give us food. Like when they start the rationing system, we still got to wait upon him. You see? We have no access to that. And the different farmers of our people, right, the people that are our farmers, they don't have enough to take care of our nation. No.
And even with like farmers that are not of our people, that a lot of these farmers, Esau has struck strict regulations on their distribution system, on the channels that the food can travel. That's why you see a lot of stuff getting poured out and thrown away, because they don't have the right legal channels they can go through that Esau will allow for them to sell stuff. If they could, I'm sure those farmers will open up house and say, come buy whatever you want. Yep. Buy it now before it go bad, rather than throw the shit away, pour it out. You know what I'm saying? But it got to be something Esau done twisted up legally, where they can't do shit with it.
Yep, he did. Yep.
You know?
He did.
That's how Esau works. It's part of his witchcraft, man. Putting it down on paper.
Yep.
Bring yours out so you can back this two precept. Hold. Did you read the pressure? Was over the pressure yet? Okay, back them up with your two.
Amos 9 and 12, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen, which are called by my name, saith Yahweh, that doeth this.
Yeah, so we go.
So them that are called by his name are the Israelites. Okay? And so those are the ones who are going to possess the remnant of the heathen and possess Edom. Okay? Not that these Edomites are called by his name, because if you in the nation, if you are perceived from the outward appearance as being an Edomite, but you go back to the children of Israel, you're not going to be in captivity.
That was just a mistranslation they did right there.
It definitely.
Because there ain't nowhere in the Bible where it says the other nations is called by the Lord's name.
Never.
Go ahead.
verse
We're
13.
gonna read all the way through.
Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes, him that soweth seed. And the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt.
So right now, who's the plowman? For your brothers to answer. Who's the plowman right now?
Who in the fields?
A plowman is a worker, and the person that's reaping is the person that's getting all the benefits. That's
right.
Esau.
That's right.
Go ahead.
All right.
And it says the treader of grapes. So same instance. We're the ones that's treading the grapes, and Esau's the one that's sitting back drinking the wine.
Yep, exactly. And I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them. So that means he's going to bring us out of captivity when he says bring again. And they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. And they shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them.
Now, why does it say that, bro? Because remember, we built up their houses, and we had built up those vineyards, and we got no parts of it.
That's right.
But in the king, because this is all type of kingdom bounded. We're going to have all these things, and we're going to be able to drink of the purest wine. And we're going to have great crystal buildings, or however brothers want to make their houses. It's gold, right?
And we ain't going to plant them. We're
Yeah.
going to have these heathens plant them. We're just going to reap the benefits.
That's right.
And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land, which I have given them, saith Yahweh thy power.
We are no more going to be pulled out of our land. You see? So when we go get into this kingdom, it's over. We never get pulled out. See, because this is our last captivity. That's why this is the worst captivity we have ever been into.
That's it.
That's it? Cool. All right. Right, so that was just a precept to back up a few things that he just read, Isaiah 14.
Right now, verse 4, it says that thou shalt take up. Verse 3, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear, from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve, that thou shalt take up a proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased, and the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers.
And right now we're gonna get rest in the kingdom, because right now the scripture says what? Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Right? What's that? Micah 2:10. This ain't our rest right now.
It will destroy you even with a sword destruction.
Yup.
So if you allow your mind to get to be too at ease here, you'll be caught up like the rest of these niggas, man. You know, caught up in some folly. You know, somewhere smoking blunts and doing all type of living in pleasure and not being mindful of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. So it's really kind of good to be on that edge. And if the Lord gonna keep you on that edge, man, you know what I'm saying? If He wants you, you're gonna always have something where it's like, damn, man, I need Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah to get me up out of this situation.
Yep. And that's why it says the saints should be joyful
Upon their beds.
Upon their beds. See, meaning our rest. See, that's the only time our people's gonna get rest is in the kingdom or the spirit world. That's it.
Yep.
Right. Verse 6.
Breaking the staff, yeah.
Okay, you want me to read that again?
Yeah.
Verse 5. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers.
Right. Lord has break the staff of the wicked and broken the scepter of the rulers. Right. A scepter is a mark of authority. A person that has a scepter is a person that's ruling. Hey, what the scripture says, Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? See, Esau's ruling right now, man. Esau's ruling over us. He's ruling over the entire planet. But what you see is the Lord is breaking the staff of the wicked, man. What is a staff? A staff is also known as a support system. You see, to help people stand up, right? To help people maneuver if they might need that help. So the Lord is breaking all that down. You see, everything He's doing, He's breaking it down.
Right. Verse.
I got a precept real quick. Isaiah 36:6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust him. So like I just said, the Most High is breaking the staff of the rulership of these different heathens, man. Okay, and the modern day Pharaoh will be Trump right now. It's okay,
Go ahead.
six. The modern day Pharaoh will be Trump right now, okay?
Yeah.
But that goes to whoever's ruling over Babylon, because this is the modern day Egypt, okay? Revelation, what is that, 11 and 8? It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the city, which is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. That's this place, okay? So the Most High is breaking their rulership, but our people still leaning and trusting in this rulership, man. And that reed's that broken reed, that broken staff, is gonna go right through your hand, man. Okay? So you're gonna catch hell, okay? You ain't gonna be able to stand on it, man.
Hey man, that's like, hey, you got your modern day staff right now, man. You got old people be walking down with the cane.
Yeah.
That's like somebody, old person, he got his cane, right? But then it crack in the middle. You keep walking with it, think he gonna be cool, then it crack and then he fall over, man.
Yep, and then it stab him through his damn hand.
Yeah. So that's talking about the staff going into that support, man.
Yeah, that support. That's right. That trust that you put in this damn society, man. And that precept just popped in my mind when the brother was reading that. So we can get back to what y'all was going into.
This is verse 6. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hinder it.
Right, tell me that I ain't Esau, man. See, smote the people with wrath with a continual stroke, bro. Continuously. Hey, Esau's still putting hell on people across the world, man.
Yep.
What a pandemic going on?
Yep.
Because he's the person of the pandemic. He's the person of the pandemic anyway. So-called, you know. But, hey, with a continual stroke, bro, Esau is continuing to use his blessing. You see? And he's using his blessing to the fullest.
Yep.
We ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, even like with the travel bans. When certain people can't travel in and out, or with the whole restrictions on shipping certain things, that's another way, you know? That's another way where he's like persecuting people in other places. You know? Go ahead. That continual stroke.
Verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet, and the breath, and they break forth into singing.
Right, this is it now. This is going to be in the kingdom. That's when the whole earth is going to be at rest. See? And so when this devil, for the earth to be at rest, this devil got to be out of power. Go ahead.
It says, this is verse 8. It says, yea, the fir tree rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feather is come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved.
Stop right there, Slavic. So we know Esau like to be the axe man. That's what a fellow is a person that likes to have the axe. You see all them different shows, what is it called, like Mountain Men or some shit like
Lumberjacks.
that? Or Lumberjacks. Yeah, these doubles go around the earth, cutting down all the trees. But then, what we need trees for oxygen. But you know what, fuck it, let's just cut more of them down.
Hey, bro,
Right?
and they actually have, I think it's a sport. They actually have a sport where they test out their high-tech chainsaws, and they'll cut down all these different trees just to test out how fast their chainsaw can cut that tree in half.
Bro, I just seen they got some, you see the new joint they got? It's like this big ass machine that just cut trees and grab them down like every 10 seconds. Hey, they got this, bro, they ain't cutting that using axes no more, bro. They got this machine just putting in work.
Yeah, because it started off as, I think they used to have actual strongman
Yeah,
lumberjack
little-
type of, the two-man saw.
Yeah.
They would kind of have competitions on how fast you can cut them down. But now they doing it all.
Yeah, but I'm
mechanically.
saying this is for sport.
Yeah.
They're doing it for fun.
Yeah, that's what I mean too.
They're doing it for fun and also to keep building, man.
Right.
Keep building.
So the thing is, the trees are going to rejoice because they're not being cut down no more. You see, that's why this devil got to go out of power. You know, everything is going to be back in a rejoicing state. You know, people, because the scripture was in Proverbs 29 and 2. It
That's
says,
what I'm trying to get right now. 29 and
And
2.
men are liking that to trees as well.
yeah.
He be killing men up too. Killing all type of people.
Yeah, Proverbs 29 and 2.
This is Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2.
Yep.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Right, the people rejoice when the righteous is in authority, right? But go ahead.
But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
People mourning, bro. All across the world, people are mourning. You see, because who? The wicked Esau Edom is in power. You know. So go back. You know. So said the trees are gonna rejoice, man, when this feller is out of power, man. You know.
It's funny too, you know. Sometimes little stuff will happen, like slang terminologies that people use, and then they be like a spiritual aspect to it. Because what do you always hear, like country stereotypes of country white people? What do they call each other? Especially like in the South. You fellers?
Yeah.
What are you fellers doing there? Come here, fella. Oh, do something, you know what I'm saying? So you know, there may not be nothing to it, but you know, that's just something I thought, you know. Thought about.
Yeah, that's a strong fella right there.
Yeah. I seen two fellas going up. You see it in them cowboy movies too, man.
This is verse 9.
Yep.
Hell from beneath is removed for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
Right.
It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth.
Read it again. Give me Joel 3:10.
Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
Right. So hell, which is beneath thee, is to meet thee at thy coming. Right. Right. So hell meaning destruction, coming to meet who? Esau. Go ahead.
It stirreth up the dead for thee.
Stir up the dead for thee. Now, who is that dead represent? That dead represents the other nation, right? Because when you go into that word dead in the Hebrew, you think it's like rapah, if I'm not mistaken, something to that effect. When you go into that word dead in Hebrew, it means like rapah. It means to be a person, means to be weak or to be feeble. Now, going into Esau, right? Compared to Esau, these other nations are what? Known as to be weak. Go read yours out.
Isaiah 3 and what did you want again?
10.
Okay.
No. Joel 3 and 10.
Oh, Joel, select.
Joel 3 and 10. Read it again.
It says hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
Right, so destruction is about to meet Esau. Go ahead.
It stirreth up the dead for thee.
It stirred up the dead for these. These other nations are being stirred up. Because like I said, compared to Esau, these other nations are known to be what? Feeble and weak. Go ahead.
Joel 3 and 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears.
Right, that's what the nations are doing. They're not putting their money into agriculture. They putting in their money for the military. War.
Let the weak say, I am strong.
Let the weak say, I am strong. These are these other nations. And the reason why they're in their mode now of saying this because now they got military might. You see? They got military might. Now they're able to fight back. You know?
They got what they call the great equalizer, right? They got the nuclear missiles now. Now everybody got nuclear capabilities.
Yep.
Right? So America try to bully them. It was like, hey, we ain't gonna be taking your shit no more.
Yeah. And all you need is one. Because one, that's a lot of damage with one. You see? So it says, let the weak say I'm strong. Those are the other nations. That's a put on that.
All right, this is it says, even all the chief ones of the earth, it hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
Yep. See, they stir it up. They being raised up, and they ready to go to war. You know. But those weak is talking about the other nations.
All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? It says, thy pomp is brought down to the grave.
Thy pomp, meaning their pride, you know. And since Esau was what, a stout fellow, right? So it's their pride.
It says, the noise of thy vials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
All right, so let's slow this down. I think it's Matthew 12 or Matthew 10. It says, so to heaven thou Capernaum, yeah, Capernaum, right. So let's go into this. So now, question for you, brothers. What does heaven represent? Huh? There's another meaning for it. What does heaven represent?
Lion State.
Huh?
Lion State.
What about hell? What about hell?
Hell is basically like any lower form of state that's like happening. As far as not just the grave, but like anything like something like bad that's happening, like situation. What's going on?
You kind of said it at first, like a low,
Like
low
like,
condition.
yeah, but bad like low condition.
Yeah, you got it? All
Yeah.
right, read yours first. Now, we're about to break it down what hell in heaven represents, according to the scriptures. Read it over.
Con. It says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?"
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, right? So, Lucifer meaning just a light bearer. This is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan, right? This is talking about the light bearers, also known as the Illuminatis, the enlightened ones. Okay? So, how art thou fallen from heaven? Now, heaven represents rulership, basically conditions. You see? Because right now, we're in hell. We're in a hellish condition. We're in a very low condition. And when you think about the so-called white man, what do they say? They're in a state of heaven, right? When someone's prospering and doing good or eating a good meal and they just feel on the top of the world, what do they say? I feel like I'm in heaven.
This is heavenly.
This is heaven.
This
Yeah.
is to die for. Even that, what about that song? I'm in heaven.
That's
you know,
that's a condition.
it is.
That's
Right.
a condition. Now, you
When
got
you
one?
got money. When you got money, you can feel like you in heaven. You know what I'm saying? Especially Edomites. You know, because you can buy. You basically buy and sell people. You know, you can buy and sell anything. You know.
Bring your precept out.
Right, this is Genesis chapter 27 and verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, "Hast thou one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, "Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above." So Esau right now, okay, that fatness going to the richest, okay, the rich places to live, to dwell at, you know. So a lot of these rich Edomites, these elites, they got whole islands that they own that they can live on, man. They got underwater hotels, right? They got all these different resorts, man. They live in the best places, right? So they're in their heaven. They're in a great, they're in the best condition that they can be in.
They got the fatness of the earth. They got the resources. They got people as slaves. You see, they control and own everything. Right? Azariah?
Alright, so this is Matthew 11 and 23.
Right, it's the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 23.
And thou, Capernaum, which are exalted unto heaven.
Stop. So this is the city, right?
Right.
How can a city be exalted to heaven? Meaning what? Their rulership, their condition, right? Now, if you know anything about history, Capernaum was a city by the sea. All the cities by seas are usually more the richest city because that's where people could trade out. So when you go into the history, that was a very rich city. Go ahead. Or whenever you get a chance.
I bet. Matthew 11 and 23. And thou, Capernaum, which are exalted unto heaven,
Which are exalted into heaven. Go ahead.
shall be brought down to hell.
So wait a minute. If they're gonna be brought down to hell, where they gonna go? Under the grave somewhere. This city being brought down to hell, meaning what? They're gonna be brought to a low condition, a low estate. Right? That's it on that?
That wasn't the whole precept. No. Go back to it. All right. For if the mighty works which have been done in thee had been done in Sodom, it would have remained unto this day.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much the point. Yeah, brought down. So what you gonna, if there was like let's just entertain the thought, because we know it don't exist. But there was a fiery place underground like hell. You gonna bring a whole city down? Do that even make sense? What the city do? You got to burn for eternity?
Right.
No, so that don't, it's a low condition, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna be taken from the top to the bottom.
To the bottom. That's where Esau going. Right under our foot. To the bottom. From top to the bottom.
Hey, that's why it says, hell is, oh wait, hold on. It said, you gonna read it to me, yeah. This is verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?
Yeah.
How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations?
That did it weaken the nations, man. And how did Esau weaken the nations? Through his military, through his philosophies, through his witchcraft. That's how he weakened the nations. Go ahead.
By the sword thou shalt live.
By the sword thou shalt live. And this is about to show you, this is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan as we go on. Remember, it's still talking about the same fella that was hitting the trees. And it said if he was taken out of power, the trees was going to rejoice. It's still talking within context of the same person. Go ahead.
It says, For thou hast said in thine heart,
Mhm.
I will ascend into heaven, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High.
Right, and that's what Esau have done and said. Now the stars of the Most High, you can also equate that with us being the Israelites, because when you go back to that dream with Joseph, right? He was talking about what the stars, you know, how they was all stars, and they all had to bow down to the what was it? He said they had to bow down to the one star.
They all gave oblation unto him. He said the stars and the moon all gave oblation unto him,
Meaning his brothers.
and his mom and his father.
Yep. And now here go another precept. The back of the stars represent Israelites. Revelation 12 verse 4, it says, "And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth." And who was that, man? I was talking about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Okay, that's what they done. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. You know. Go ahead.
Right? It says, For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, and will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High.
Esau be trying to do that also with his what? His space stations and his satellites. You know, he try to make that to be his throne. There's a show that came out. It's called anybody seen the show when the kids was all stuck in? It's called The 100. The show The 100. What they did, they went up into the heavens. You see, and they try to make that as that was their throne. They was living up there, running from what? What did they say was the destruction that hit there. Because really, for radiation to be on that earth, missiles had to hit the joint. You see, but they was running from that. But that's his example how they was exalting their throne above the stars.
Yeah, they also had that movie called Elysium,
I ain't see that one.
which is where they had the whole basically all the rich people was living up in space, where they had all the high tech technology, and they had everybody else who was poor and sick. They left them down on earth.
And that's why the scriptures say this, because when Esau noticed destruction is coming, why you think they be building domes, deep underground military bases, and why you think they be having space stations, like the brother said in this different show, that they can live in? Because they going to try to run in half. But the Lord says what? You going to climb up to heaven, I'm going to pull you down. You going to try to go underground, we're going to dig you up. And he's going to use his men to do that.
There's a precept, kind of backtracking slightly, just to back up the bro what he said about the sun. The stars, okay, representing the 12 tribes of Israel, so brothers can get a little bit of edification. Genesis 37 and 9, and he dreamed, this is Joseph dreaming, one of the stars, and he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? So his father instantly, through the wisdom, knew that he and the mom was sun and the moon, and that the brothers was the stars. He's like, what you mean? We gonna bow down to you too? You crazy as hell, Joseph. You the youngest. Get your ass out of here, man. Put this belt to your ass, you know. Talk about gonna bow down to you. But through the Spirit, he saved many alive through the things that he went through.
Well, yep. And then which that led to him being sold by his brothers, which was all through the Spirit to help save the children of Israel when the time of that famine came.
That's right.
You see?
Just back in the grow up.
Yeah. Precept Amos 9 verse 2. It says, Though they dig into hell, thence shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. So Esau gonna be running, and he gonna send, like the scripture says, he's gonna turn the fishers into hunters. So we're gonna have to go get these devils, man. They're gonna be trying to hide, but look, we're gonna have spiritual powers, bro. We're gonna go get these devils, man. You see, these different movies and shows that y'all see with these people with spiritual powers, like the Hulk and Wolverine and these X-Men characters, Hancock and all the. Hey, bro, those are our. They talking about us, bro.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, bro? Funny you said the Hulk. I was thinking about that the other day. You know how the Hulk be jumping super high and like soaring through the sky, bro? That's like the spiritual power King David did, man.
Because
The Lord gave him the power to leap over a wall.
King David's mighty men, Samson, bro. When you read those stories, bro, the things that they was doing, bro, killing hundreds and thousands of people, like just like like with a jawbone like that. You talking about being as a little kid, being able to kill a lion and playing with bears and stuff as a child, bro. That's spiritual powers, bro. Come on, bro. Like, yeah.
That's where they get all these. That's where Marvel and all these different comic book characters. That's where they get their inspiration from, bro.
And-
They get it from the Bible.
Yup. And then, right before Esau took on all those comics, bro, that was Jake making all those comic books. When you really start digging into that research, bro, Jake made all that, bro. And Esau just took the shit and flipped it and or bought it out
Yeah,
or whatever he did. And
Put his
but-
name on it.
Yeah, but all that shit, that was all from like the lady did. I think the one lady for X-Men. It was X-Men or one of the superheroes, bro. Jake did all that, bro. And Esau took it and flipped it around and made them all devils.
Yep. Because it's funny because you said that made them all devils because a lot of these characters was originally Jakes.
Jake, like 300, right? When you see the movie 300, those Spartans, those are Israelites, bro. None of those dudes in there should have been crackers, man. You know what I'm saying? They should have all been a lot of movies is like that, which is really our people should be having those positions, but Esau got to be the devil and make it seem like it was his people, just like the movie, the Bible,
Hey,
or the movie with the Egyptians. Because even the Egyptians, they ain't our people, but they ain't crackers neither.
Nope. That's right.
Yeah,
But-
he covers the faces of the
I was
judges.
gonna say that.
But
I was gonna say that.
that's a part of that deception and programming to make the people of the world be like, we are the greatest. That's a very great tactic that they use, because when they came out of when they was healed, right, through the rebirth, they did a lot of what? Iconoclasm. What's the other word? Not rebirth.
The Renaissance.
The Renaissance era, right? If y'all ever looked into the Renaissance stuff yet, right? When they took all, huh?
chiseling off noses and stuff like that.
Like, shit.
During
Yeah,
the
some
Renaissance,
During the Renaissance period. Go ahead, bro.
during the Renaissance, they a lot of stuff happened that you would classify as iconoclasm.
Here we go, right here.
Okay.
First one, right here. Boom. Here, y'all can pass that around.
So basically, and on that poster board we made, they got a book called Russian Icons. Okay, and in that book, The Russian Icons, in Russia they have these church walls that were painted, and the depiction of a lot of the famous paintings that have been whitewashed, so to speak, were all originally painted as Jakes, or darker skinned people. What was that? The Passover that happened. A lot of those things. Michael the Archangel. You know what I'm saying? And we
King-
could probably.
The original King James.
Yeah. And so it was basically a period, and really I got a precept, I don't know if you know where it is, but it talked about he was kept for 1,000 years, and then he was released, and he deceived the whole world. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, so for a period of time, okay, first there was the Roman Empire, the ancient Roman Empire, which was run by Edomites, the Herodians and all them. Okay, then Jake began to rule in Rome. It was called the Holy Roman Empire.
Yup.
A lot of them, Constantine was a Jake, and so on and so forth. They was wicked, but they was Jakes, okay? And so then we entered into the Dark Ages, right?
Yeah.
The period of undocumented, so to speak, history, which E just covered all that up, okay? But the scriptures talk about 1,000-year period where the devil was put in the chain.
Got it.
Go ahead, brother.
Revelation 20, verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan,
Right.
and bound him 1,000 years.
Right. So this ain't talking about some red man, an angel came down and locked up some red man in a pit, okay? And then released him later, or the devil wasn't doing no wickedness for 1,000 years. No, that ain't what this talking about. This is talking about when Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, was taken out of power, and his influence on the earth was taken away, and it was given into the hand of Jacob. So what happened after he came out of that 1,000-year period of captivity and being ruled over by the Israelites? What happened next? It goes into it, right? Then once he released, then he may deceive the world.
Verse 3. And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him,
Right.
that he should deceive the nations no more,
Right.
till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed
Loose.
a little season.
Right. After that, he must be loosed a little season. And I don't know if it talks about him deceiving them again.
Verse 7.
I can break it down further before we read that part. So the bottomless pit, that's that region over there of England, Great Britain, Europe. The whole region of Europe is called the bottomless pit because of the lack of resources over there. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where the captivity primarily happened. And you can even see that in some of the customs they hold today. Like in the Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken, in that area. Ain't that in the same area, the Netherlands?
Netherlands, I believe, yeah,
Yeah,
Netherlands.
that's in the
is
same
Europe.
area. They have this custom where they go blackface, and it's basically to make mockery of us. Then you got the Krampus. Okay, the Krampus is like supposed to represent like an evil, what Jake represented to Esau, because we was terrorizing them, because we had them in captivity. So around Christmas time, they have the Krampus, which will come snatch up little white babies and little kids and terrorize them. I'm sure we was doing that to them while they was in captivity. So there are some remnants that you can kind of see to show, yeah, we had them in captivity, we put a whooping on their ass. And so now they kind of either make mockery of us, or they still have these customs where there's a fear of this big black boogeyman that's going to come get you. You know? Go ahead, brother.
All right, verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison.
And that's what we talked about. When he was loosed out of his prison, what did he start doing? Deceiving the world again. The Renaissance period is called the rebirth.
Right.
You know. I got a precept to back you up. For the Satan.
2 Thessalonians 2 verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and destroy with the brightness of his coming. Right?
And we're showing them now through the mouth, how the Lord is doing it through the mouth of his prophets, man. How he's making Esau bare. You see? And he's going to destroy him with the brightness of his coming.
Verse 9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
See, so there's people that's on the earth that's doing the workings and bidding after the spiritual demon Satan, which is Esau Edom, man. See, he's Satan's physical counterpart on the earth, man. Somebody's doing it, and we know it's Esau Edom. He's the one that's doing it. So when it's talking about that person that was bound for 1,000 years, that dragon, that old serpent, that all goes back to Esau, man, because he is that serpent. He is that also known as the dragon. You know?
Right, and I actually got that word for iconoclasm. It goes back to the word iconoclast, which means it's from the 1590s. Iconoclast is a noun. It says breaker or destroyer of images. From French, iconoclast, it says directly from medieval Latin, iconoclastes. From late Greek, iconoclastes. From econ, meaning image, and klastes, meaning breaker. Right? So basically, there you go. You know, iconoclast means the breaker of image.
The fame in the images.
Yep.
So just another precept going into this dragon and this devil is really going into a man. Okay, Revelation 12:7, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. So this ain't talking about some mystical dragon or some big red demon coming out and fighting against the angels. No, Esau and his military power, you know, his feeble military power is going to try to actually fight against the angels and the chariots. Okay, the true heavenly powers. And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven, because they're going to be taken out of rulership.
Right.
Verse 9, and the great dragon was cast out, an old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So in that precept the bro read, it talked about him, he was deceiving, you know. He was locked up so they couldn't deceive the world no more. But then he was released for a short time, and he deceived the whole world again. That was his character. That was his character, you know.
Revelation 13 verse 3, and I saw one of the heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast.
So his daily wound is healed. You see? For right now. You see? Because they was brought down and now they was shit.
Well, this really, you know, this is like more kind of a deeper breakdown we going into, so we ain't gonna probably go into it too deep.
Yeah.
But
So
go ahead. We're going in, if you're gonna read the wound is healed, you gotta know that was the old Roman Empire, the ancient Roman Empire when it was under the rule of the so-called white man. Okay, that empire was taken down, and Jake took over, like we was explaining earlier, right? But then that wound was healed, and it's been resurrected at this time. So this is the spiritual Roman Empire,
Second leg of Rome.
the second leg of Rome.
The extension of it.
Exactly. Exactly. So that beast, we marveled at the beast whose wound was healed. That's talking about this place.
Yep.
Because just like there was a certain system in place in ancient Rome, the same way it is here. Back then there was a two-party system. Here there's a two-party system.
Yep.
Back then they were known for taxation. Here they known for taxation.
They had the 7 heads, the 10 horns like the beast. Just
Yep.
like how we got the NATO and the EU.
That's right.
They had that same structure back then.
That's right.
You know?
Yep. Conglomerate of nations.
Yep.
And just like then, they ended up dividing and fighting against each other. Just like now, man.
Right.
The 10 horns is gonna hate the whore and burn her with fire.
Right, but back then it was called the EEC, the European. It's back then. It was called the Treaty of Rome.
Are you talking about back with the
Back then,
Visigoths?
back then how they had it. Now it's called like the NATO and the EU.
Con,
You know.
con. So that's just
Yeah.
just explaining that real quick.
And
You
what
know.
the brothers is going into where it says the devil and Satan, there's a perfect word for Esau, man. It's diabolical, man.
Mhm.
He's diabolical. Now when you look up the word diabolical, I'll read it here in the dictionary. It says diabolical. It says the characteristic of the devil, right? Or so evil as to be suggestive of the devil, right? Now when you look up the word devil, where it says that old serpent, the devil, and Satan, right? It goes back to the Greek word diablos, diabolos,
Mhm.
which means prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely, right? So basically being a deceiver or telling lies, man.
Yep.
A false accuser.
Right. So let's get back to the 14 so we can close up. This is the last little bit. So we got like 4 verses left.
Okay, this is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 13. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven, and I will exalt my throne above the Most High, and I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
That's how Esau thinks. He wants to be the Most High. He has a God complex, you know, and he puts different things in place as he is the Most High. You know, he got the different satellite systems that can see you from wherever the hell you are, right? That can see you through your house. He got all those systems set up, just like how he got our PS4s and Xboxes and smart TVs. All that can see you.
Oh, yeah.
All those can hear you. Phones, all of it. So that's his way of able to say, you know what, I'm the knowing all and I'm the seeing all type of thing, right? But eventually he's going to really do it to where he's able to track you, your every movement, via the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast.
Right, and the control he's got over people's minds, like the scriptures also say, surely thy turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay.
Right.
People take Esau's word and science's word above what the scriptures actually say. Go ahead.
This is verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee.
Right, now pay attention to these 2 verses. The crushes that spiritual demon Satan doctrine that the church made up. Go ahead, bro.
Saying, is this the man?
Is this the man? Is this the man? Is this the man that's doing all this shit? You see him? Go ahead.
Is this the man that made the earth to tremble?
What was the way how he made the earth tremble? What was that called? What's that bomb that they dropped? What's that bomb?
The
they
atomic
dropped?
bomb.
The atomic bomb?
Yeah, little man and fat man
Uh-huh.
and little man, something like that.
Yeah, that was the way how he made the earth tremble. His military's making the earth tremble.
Yeah.
You see?
Causing fire to come down from heaven.
Yeah.
Yep, that was one of his great wonders that he did. Lying wonders.
Who's
Yeah.
able to make war with the
Slovakia.
beast?
Yup.
That's what everybody was saying before. That's what all these nations are saying, right? But now it's going to get to the point where, wait, isn't this the same guy that was terrorizing us? Isn't this the same guy who dropped bombs on Japan? Right? Had everybody shook. It says that did shake the kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners.
That's the point. You know? He shook the cities, he shook the kingdoms, that then opened the house to the prisoners, kept everybody in subjection. See? So that's what they're gonna say. Is this the man? But look, at this time Esau gonna be in a low state. They're gonna be like, so wait a minute. This base man was able to do all this to us to keep us all in subjection? This guy right here, this scrawny fellow?
Hey, if Jacob is a worm like the scriptures call us, Esau's a maggot.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. But yeah, so just tying it all back together through the Spirit, in the beginning of Isaiah 14, where we started off, it said, "Oh Lucifer," right? "How art thou fallen, O Lucifer?" But now it's saying, "Is this the man who let not the loose open the doors of his prisoners?" And roughly paraphrasing. So a little red demon with a pitchfork ain't coming throwing you in jail.
Nope.
That's a people on the earth.
The people on the earth.
You see, is this the man? And then later on, I think it says, are we gonna read that? Prepare slaughter for his children. We pretty much done.
Yeah, we done. That's
They just had the situation. They killed the brother from the pizza shop 5 times. They shot him in the back, Carolina, Durham.
What was that?
This
Today?
was about a week ago, down in Durham. Jake shot him 5 times in the back. Stole a pizza.
Man,
He said he stole a piece of.
Yeah, there was a brother that stole a pizza. You know, it was like Michael Brown occurrence.
yeah. Okay.
That wasn't wise. That was not smart at all. So you can close up. Yeah, close us up, brother.
Yeah, but hey, with that, man, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Hakadash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect brethren, teaching and pushing His word in sincerity and in truth. And abide, babal!
Abba, Babal.
Abide, babal!
Abba, Babal.
Shalom.
Shalom.